Welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
She's being hidden by her own work.
Yes.
I'm sure she's going to talk about this when she talks about her stuff, but...
No, well, she FFO'd that a couple of months ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I didn't even... I've never seen it before. Have I seen it before?
She showed it.
Yeah, I think I had...
I was probably just in my own world, ignoring you. Anyway.
But,
yeah, this is all Stitching with the Housewives
it's so
patterns.
cute. Well, we're going to put it down so we can talk to you.
There you go.
That's nice. All right.
and that's a hanger thing that she got somewhere.
Yeah, I got it at Target.
Okay, so
Eve's going first.
I'm going first.
Welcome. Well, first let me say welcome back and thank you to our new subscribers.
Yes, thank you very much.
We're so excited. We still have our giveaway going on, right?
Yes, you have another...
Till Friday, so that we can do it on Saturday.
Most of the week. You have the 19th. Is it the 19th? No, today's the 20th. The 21st.
No, not the 20th. All of y'all are wrong. It is Friday the 27th of October. If you get your...
No.
Yes.
Oh, the end of this Okay. I thought you meant today. Today's not the 27th. I was like, no, I just looked at the
Welcome back to Sticks and Strings, where we don't know what day it is, or what day the contest ends, or anything. Hi. No, so...
but today is the 21st. Believe me, because I was
you
looking.
view it,
I was
it's not the 21st.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, hi. We're here. This is us. This is us. This is what we do. So anyway, Eve's gonna talk first. Just let her talk. All right? We'll talk about the contest later.
Yeah, my talking is probably going to be as coherent as what you just heard. So when I made these, you guys saw in a couple of videos ago that I was working on these. They're scissor fobs, Halloween scissor fobs, and there's a picture that should be like right here.
And we showed it last week at the beginning of our video.
Right. So these have these absolutely adorable little charms on them. And the picture that I took of this, it has this, I mean, it's all one picture, but it has this big spider charm in it. But when I took the picture, it was the other side, and you just saw the web.
Oh, there's a spider in there.
There's a spider. Anyway, right now,
we have a whole bunch of Halloween fobs, right? Scissor fobs, because there's
more.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch.
So,
plenty.
Yeah. So, right now in our Etsy shop,
That doesn't sound right.
no, it doesn't.
The dog.
Come here, baby. Come here, honey. What you got there? Oh, it is a toy for you. It's her own toy. It's her little bone.
I was doing laundry earlier and I gave it to her. It was put up before.
We suspect her of all bad things. She's like, this is my toy.
I hope it's not too loud. I'm so sorry. So right now on the Etsy shop, for $35 or more, you can get 25% off. A wonderful viewer of ours just recently made a purchase, and it made her purchase go down about $20. So it's a pretty good deal. Also, hopefully soon in the Etsy shop, I will have a bag set of this. It's got all these threads all over it. So I've been working on a bag for the symphony that I finished last week, and I gave it to them, and I'm going to do more.
And they loved it. The education department. So.
I'm going to make some minor adjustments, but that being said, when I was making it, there was a piece that I realized that I had cut it too short this way. And Naomi and I talked, and I sewed a strip along the top. So then, when I was getting ready to sew everything together, because I was getting pieces and measuring and cutting and, designing and all that, and I was back to this piece of fabric. And I had tried to do a gusset down here a different way than I normally do. But I didn't like it. So I took that out and I was laying it down to do it again. And I went, something's wrong here. Okay, math is not my friend. Obviously, if you've been watching this for any length of time, you know I can't count. Well, apparently addition is also a problem.
What did you do?
So instead of 2 inches on either side, which would, when I sewed it together, would be about a little under 4 inches. I only put 2 inches on one side. So it wasn't going to work.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not going to sew fabric on here and then sew. No. Okay, that's done. I'm not doing it. And so I just went and bought more fabric. So I had this piece of expensive fabric that was not going to be usable for the other bags.
Right.
And because the other pieces I need, they're pretty much width of fabric. So I said, well, I kept looking at this fabric that was in my room. I bought this for myself quite some time ago. Last Halloween? The Halloween before that? I mean, I don't know.
Is
was
it
around.
Halloween or is
No.
it spacey?
It's spacey.
Oh, aliens.
Right. And I couldn't find a fabric that I liked very much to go with it, but I did find this, and so I bought this. It's Constellations. The interesting thing about both of these fabrics is they glow in the dark.
Mm.
I used to walk by the fabric and it would be glowing at me at night. I was like, I got to do something with that. So when I had this large piece of black, now it's definitely different fabric than I normally use for making the bags, but so is this. This is like a flannel. So I thought, well, not really losing any money using this expensive fabric on here.
Yeah.
And it goes well because
It's black.
it's black. So I have to find a blue fabric to use with the Constellations. So I will be making one for myself, as I said, but also I will be making one for
you all.
for y'all. Now, I tried to take a picture of it glowing, and if Naomi can see it all, it's here. You can kind of sort of see the glow, but you know, it was daytime, and during the day,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very hard to
It's
find.
still in the dark in the night.
Well, it's very
You can go in
hard.
the bathroom.
in-
Yeah.
In our house, it's very hard to find a room where there are no ambient light comes in. And I went in the laundry area to do it, and I'm like, there's no place. I can't hold it and take the picture at the same time. So I was going to work on that yesterday and get it all done. I had everything cut out for both bags. But I had a headache yesterday that was unbelievable, and I said, yeah, that's a good way to make more cutting mistakes. So, yeah. So I didn't. And right now I am working on 2023 Snowman, and here's a picture. And it's a design by Anna something or other that starts with a K. Kobylianska of Sweet Annette. And it is on this clear 14 count plastic canvas.
Oh, yeah. You don't like it. I
Well,
don't like it.
It's very, I'm showing you the back. So I got down to here and I realized that I had used the wrong thread color for this outside bright green.
Oh no.
I had used the next color. I had started it out correctly right here, but at some point I thought I was using the one for that number, that letter, that symbol. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Nothing is counting right. And then I put that other one in and I'm like, oh my God, everything's wrong. So I thought I fixed it. I spent a long time fixing. And I was stitching today and I was like, that is absolutely not right. So I'm going to be working on this here today. You may see some scissors come out because I had to struggle to anchor the threads when I was done. And this dark thread right here is wrong. Not by much, but by enough that it's going to alter stuff. And it's very dark, so you know, if I have it in the wrong place, you can tell, right? Mm-hmm. So I can't figure out where the tail of the thread is. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just going to cut it because I have more of this color. I started the little snowman head right here because I got tired of this green. It was making me mad. So I am working on that. That is found in the Christmas, in the cross stitch Christmas ornaments
magazine.
Yeah, I'd take it out, but then I have to lose my place, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so yes, I have a working copy, but I also have it open to the right spot because it's easier to see it. What next? So I decided to work. This is the episode where Eve counts everything wrong.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I decided, since Beth's birthday was around, I decided to work some more on this. And right now, it looks like, oh, look how far she got. I would be done with this cat.
Oh, no.
If I had counted it right. So I was about...
Anything worth doing.
I was about midway between the eyes and where the nose is going to be left out, right? And I looked and I went, those eyes are not in the same line as the eyes on the white one. And of course, I was one stitch down. Now, with the white one, I had completely forgotten to leave the holes. And I just stitched the black over. But I'm not going to try to stitch white over black. That's not going to work. So I had to take it all back out.
Oh, no.
And so I worked on it for a while, and I've gotten past the nose. But, you know, he'd had to go back in timeout. So.
Oh, no.
My WIP-GO projects for this month were the Chronicles of Narnia by Stitching Book Club by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, and here it is. That's one of them. And I was using the PDF to put in the words, and I said I'll just go longer and get all those words in. I think we talked about that last week. I got some of the words in there and went, okay, I'm tired of this. I was like, it's been more than 10 days and I have things to do. And so I just stopped. And then I pulled out the other WIP-GO project for this month, which is Stitch All the Things. And I can't remember what the goal is, if it's 10 days or to finish it. I hope it's just 10 days because I'm not going to finish it. Because I'm trying to do all those ornaments, and if I did the ornaments right the first time, it wouldn't be a problem, but, you know. So I had started it some time ago, and I got like part of the S done. So in that time, I've stitched this much. Not a lot, but some. At least everything seems to be in the right place.
For now. You'll redo it later.
For now. So the last thing is my 2023 temperature SAL
Sure.
also by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. And this week, it was the same temperature all week long.
Hot as heck.
It was over 100 degrees
Gross.
all week long.
But you better dig out your colors, because I saw that on like Thursday, the high is going to be in like 79. We're going to freeze. We need our sweaters.
So actually the first day, Saturday, was below 100, but then after that it was 100 to 102
That's
the whole
just
week.
gross.
Yeah. So
For October.
yeah,
this is
it's
gross.
like I
nobody else is
expected
talking
this
about-
week. I expected this week to be not as red.
You know,
But-
people online, I say, "Oh, I take my sweater out.
Sweater
It's so nice
weather."
and cool outside in the morning." Blah, blah. I'm like,
Shut up.
Or even talking about it raining.
mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about how hot it was when I tell my stories
Yeah,
this week. Oh my gosh.
it is pretty hot. No, we went. Yeah. So I went to take the thing back, and yeah, it was hot. So that is all that I stitched. Beth wanted to go to Hobby Lobby, so I didn't need any fabric, but these came home with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty.
Almost all of the fabrics that Hobby Lobby now has they're all like white and off-white. They seem to have gotten rid of all the color. So I have a few projects that are on this that I'm not sure. This is 25 count Lugana in steel blue, and I want to make sure I have enough for the projects I started with it, because I don't know if they're going to discontinue that too. It doesn't say discontinued, but it did have a price tag lower than the one that's on the package, so I was worried. And then I picked up more thread for the projects I'm working on for the symphony. And, you know, there was a giant sign that said all of this thread was 99 cents a spool.
Oh, really?
At this price point to this price point. And
I should
the
go.
high price point was $3.49. So naturally, these were $3.99. Because that is what happens to me. But I need it, so you know, when she told me, and they have a cashier that when she's the only cashier there, I just kind of go, it's going to take forever. They have a touch thing for their screen, their cash register.
Yeah.
And she slams on it. Her fingers have got Band-Aids all over them because she's, I'm like,
no.
yeah, you don't have to do that. It's not how hard you push.
Maybe she's like frustrated with it.
I think it's because she has all those Band-Aids on her fingers.
Oh,
she
it
can't.
doesn't work.
Yeah,
It doesn't touch.
but
yeah.
pounding on it isn't going to help.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, she's never not nice. It's just, and so she's like, "Do you still want them?" I'm like, "I need them, so yeah." You know, do I want to pay that price? No. But you know, she's doing her job. So anyway, that's all I've done.
Shall I go next?
Yeah, I just have one comment related to your cash register thing.
Related to my what?
Cash
Cash
register
register.
story.
Oh.
That, you know, so behind you there were several people in line, so they were opening up a few registers, but I was just waiting because I thought, well, you know, other people were going, so I was waiting in line, and this girl came up to me and she said, "Oh, you know, are you checking out? You know, I can help you over here." So I went over there, and she told me register 6, I guess, and I went over there, and then she couldn't log on. And she tried several times, so the system shut her out, of course. And so then they had her logging onto a different machine, so I had to go over there, and So
If
and
you
they
would
had
have
to
just
reset
stayed
it.
where you were.
I could have stayed. If I had stayed where I was, I'd have been gone by then because it took forever.
Love it. Love it. All right, I'm going next. I have exactly one thing to talk about. Well, no. Okay. I have actually, okay. First news is that Jordan's sweater
Oh,
reached its destination. Here's a picture of her happily wearing it straight out of the box. And she is very happy. So that is fun. Here's a picture of Hannah wearing her sweater that I made her a year ago or so. I can't remember when it was. She took a picture in her practice room and told me that her teacher, who is a knitter, the one that I'm making this for, saw it and was like, "Oh, those stitches are tiny. I would never go near that." And wanted to know all about the color changes. Like, did the yarn do it on itself? And she was very impressed with the sweater I made Hannah. So that's my first 2 bits of news. And the red and yellow socks. I remade that second yellow sock. Somebody asked me in the comments if the second red one had happened to it. It didn't. The 2 red ones came out identical, no problems. The first yellow one came out identical with no problems. And then the second yellow one was the one I had a lot of trouble with. And I found out that one of the breaks on the top of my, it's called a break, it's a little thing that the yarn passes through, was getting stuck. And I think that's what caused the problem in that second yellow sock.
And the ribbing too, right?
No,
That makes sense if that's what the ribbing was due to.
Oh, you mean those?
line that was-
No, that was because I was having so many tension issues because of that. The stitches popped off, and I put them on manually. But when I did that, it was too tight in that spot. So that's what was causing those ridges. So anyway, I went home, undid the yellow sock, and made it again with all of that in mind, and it came out perfect. So I sent the red and yellow socks off to Boston with Jordan's sweater, and they arrived yesterday, but Hannah was going to get them today, and I told her, I want a sock report, but I haven't gotten a sock report yet. So I'm very nervous that they don't fit, because I had to make them, the reason the tension was such is that I had to make them kind of smaller for her feet, I think. She wouldn't measure her foot, so if it's too small, it's her fault. But what I want to know is if it fits well or not, because I think I might need to buy a smaller, like a one size smaller cylinder for her feet, and then I can make it a looser tension, and it would be a smaller size. If that makes any sense. So I'm still waiting on the sock report, and then the other thing I've gotten much further actually, on this. Which is the Yara shawl for Hannah's teacher. Sorry, I'm in your face, Beth. I'm now, so it mirrors, I don't know if you can see, will you hold that over there? It mirrors itself, so it starts in this little point and has the 2-color broken seed stitch, and then this mosaic section with the stripes, and then this section, and then this is the middle. And then it goes back and repeats itself back. So right now, this is where I'm working, and it's going to mirror this corner. So I'm decreasing now. And then what I do is I pick up stitches where these tassels are. Those are going to get woven in, and I'm going to pick up stitches all along there, and it makes a wide mosaic section on the bottom of the shawl. And so this is going well. So I've been just, so now I'm just in this broken seed stitch. I have to do these 4 rows 21 times, and I'm just finished the 5th rotation. So, I mean the 5th repeat. So I have, what is that? 19 more. 20 more? Something like that. No, that would be 25. I don't know how to math. Anyway,
just ask Eve.
So that's all I've done in the fiber world this week. So that's me.
Okay. I last week, was it last week that I had or the week before that I had the parade of elephants finish?
It doesn't
2
matter.
weeks
2 weeks ago. So yeah, so last week was the beginning of my piano cat WIP-GO, and I finished the goal on that. So yeah, that's this beleaguered little kit. It's a million years old. And so I had given up working on the gray because I was just sick of that, and I had worked a little bit on the white I talked about around the cat's muzzle, and so I did a few more. I finished up a little bit more of this darker gray on the piano, but then I went up with the black and did one of the sides of the music page up here. It's all like backstitching and single stitches of the notes, and I think the backstitching is supposed to be one thread only for this, but I went ahead and used two because I thought it showed up a little better, and it made then doing the notes easier because I could just do them as I went along.
You didn't put in all the staff lines?
No, this is how it was.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I was like, I thought you were going to be like,
I didn't put them all in
because it's not correct music. And
yeah.
We've discussed before that music is like a different language.
Yeah.
And when you leave off the staff marks, it's like leaving off half of a letter.
The one thing I did in that regard was there's a B flat a flat signature over here, and on the pattern it's way up high. And so I lowered it. There's no, like I said, there's no staff lines, but I thought, okay, there would never, ever, ever, ever be a flat mark up there, on the F line or whatever it is. So I lowered it, and so that's the only change I made. Mm. But yeah, and there's a whole nother section above the cat's head that I haven't.
At least the
but
treble and bass clefs are correct.
Yeah, so I just did the rest of that, and then like with whatever, like when I got to I had a little segment of black left over. I did a little bit of the black on this piano down here. So anyway, I did the 6 days of that, and that's done. As much as I like it, it's a little bit of a cough medicine project. So then, one of my new starts that I had was the Cottage Garden Samplers, A Year in the Woods, Little Brown Bat, which is number 10, the October pattern. And so I had done a day or so of doing the borders so that I could, put this in because it's the first of the 3 that are going to go on this piece. And this is the bat's, the little bones in his hand, basically, and the edges, and this is part of his body. So that's the nice thing about this October project is that the bat is in the top right-hand corner where I start. So I was able to get to the bat right away rather than doing flowers or fronds or whatever. So. And Eve had a doctor's appointment, so I had plenty of time to work on this while I was sitting there in the waiting room, waiting for that.
She went with me for a reason.
Yeah, we were running around or whatever. And then my other new start, I'm working on this right now. Got a little bit of a mess here. Let me pull this to the back of the room. Is part of the Black Cat season by Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches, and so I right now I have it in the hoop, but I finished this first design, Midnight Walker Shadow Stalker. I finished that, and that is, I have the picture here somewhere, but it's right here. So I finished this first one, Midnight Walker Shadow Stalker. Last week I had about half of the yellow moon and the stars done, but I finished this one, and I had already done this border pattern so that I could start this. So I did it as a birthday start, as my second new start, but I did it on my birthday. So I did Black Cat. It was as far as I got, I think, last week that time. So I finished today. I just finished stitching all the words here. Black cat singing in the dead of night. And right now I'm working on the kitty. I finished the moon and one of the stars there. And so now I'm putting in the cat. And there's music in this one also.
And it looks correct.
Yeah, there's little like 8th notes, 16th notes, that are just thrown in around the cat to show him singing. So they're kind of squiggly because cats are yowly. And so yeah, I'm working on the cat right now, and then I just have the fence, and then the notes and a few more stars, and it'll be done. So it's going fairly quickly. I have a long ways to go on the cat. And last week, I don't know if I talked about it last time, but yeah, I think I might have. But I bought this little cat needle minder from embroidery.com, and so I thought that was fun for my black cat season stitching. So I put that on there. And then the other thing was one of my FFOs. I have the second one I haven't gotten to yet. I hope that will go pretty quickly. But one of the FFOs I had was Western Viscount U by Tiny Modernist. And I bought this and finished it a while ago, but I'm just now getting around to FFOing it. And I've done 2 Viscount before. I did one for Naomi and one for Eve. One with a gnome, with gnomes, and one with dragons. And I did them both, I think, on 14 count Ada, if I remember correctly. And the way Tiny Modernist does hers, her designs, is she has there's a backstitch line around them, and then of course you on both sides. And so when you join the biscornu together, you use those backstitch lines to stitch them together. So I already knew how to make a biscornu, and but still somehow I messed this up. And so I'm going to be taking it all apart, because I started off and it was perfect, and in this after I turn the corner, this first stitching right here, you can tell there's a little buckle in there, and I somehow got off. And I thought, okay, well, it's okay, I can make it work still. And then the further I got, it got more and more messed up, and it was like 2 or 3 stitches off, or 2, and the whole thing about this is that you have to make sure that the corner lines up with the middle each side, and so that you get that great shape, because you're taking 2 pieces that match and you're doing them this way. And so I got almost all the way around when I realized it's not going to look right. It's going to have a weird, buckle in it. And so I'm taking it all apart. But I have 10 days to finish, before the end of the month, as long as I finish it by the end of the month. So, and I think the problem is a couple of things. This is 18 count Ada, so it's very small. But also it doesn't feel, it's not 100% cotton, I don't think. I think it's like has some, I don't know, polyester or something in it. It's a little bit of a, but I don't know. But so, for whatever reason, I had a really hard time getting the backstitch threads, with my needle, because you're not, the way she designs this, you're not supposed to stitch the fabric together, just the back stitch. You put your needle underneath one stitch and underneath the other stitch of the back stitch lines, and that's how you join them together, and then you just whip stitch your way all the way around. And I had a really hard time getting the needle to go under the back stitch line and not take the fabric with it.
Fabric.
Yeah. And
oops.
And the fabric is very fuzzy, and so I think that was part of the problem. Part of the problem is it's this fabric, and also I think maybe when I did the back stitch line, I don't know if I did it very tightly or something, but I just couldn't get that.
Maybe a different needle.
Well, no, it's because
I'm saying maybe if you used a sewing needle.
it is a sewing needle. Yeah,
It's
it has
very
a,
thick
has
for a sewing needle.
well, it's a little bit thick, but it has a sharp point, and
Maybe a blunt point would be better.
no, a sharp. It
I'm just saying because
in the instructions it talks about using a sharp sewing needle rather than a
understood. But what I'm
maybe if
saying
you
is
used an actual sewing needle, you would be able to do it
maybe
easier.
I don't know.
because I
but-
have some that are like quilting needles that
Yeah.
are really tiny.
Mm-hmm.
It might help you.
Maybe.
But I don't have any with me.
But so I was thinking about actually going through
You have some.
and doing the back stitch line again, doing on top of it. So it would end up basically with 2 threads instead of 1 thread on the back stitch lines, and that would make it, I think, easier to grab, to avoid grabbing the fabric. And also, I was having trouble like telling if I was grabbing the right loop of the back stitch line, if I was accidentally like grabbing one too far or too, one way or the other. So anyway, I'm undoing it and doing it over again, whatever I decide to do. So yeah, and then I still have 10 days. Today's only 21st. I have until the 31st to redo this biscoing. I was hoping that I would have it all sewn up and ready to stuff by today and over the weekend get it done with, but no. No. So, but I still have some wiggle room. And one of the reasons I went to Hobby Lobby was I wanted to get a piece of mat board because I have some foam core and I have sticky board, but I wanted actual mat board. And I had priced it at Michael's, and I thought, well, I could buy. But then I thought, well, maybe it's cheaper at Hobby Lobby. I don't know. But when I had looked at the piece, at some of the mat boards, I couldn't find a price. And so when we were there the other day, I finally flagged somebody down and asked them about it, and it's printed on the back. So, and I was glad that I'd gone there because it was cheaper than at Michael's. So
That's good.
yeah, bonus. So and then I had the the girl who couldn't log in. Yeah. So I think that's
Think that's you?
me. Yeah.
Well, while you were talking, I just received a video confirmation of the sock delivery, and I can't hear the video, but Hannah. So Mark also sent her some Panda Express stuff that he got because he works at a children's hospital, and they had like a promotional. So she got little panda ears and a panda and a fortune cookie keychain, real cute.
Oh, cute.
And then she got the socks, and so this is a video of her trying one of the socks on because I'm like, I need to know if they fit. And
Matches her nail polish.
yeah,
They fit.
and look, I think they're looks like they fit well.
They look good.
Yeah. So sock confirmation has been gotten, so that's good news. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have stories. So,
Well, before you start on your
Okay.
stories,
Oh,
which
yes,
are going to
let's
be
talk
very
about-
long, I had an appointment. It wasn't in downtown, but it was kind of in downtown Phoenix. And I knew I needed to take that bag to Naomi, so I said, why don't we have lunch? And I told Beth, come with us. So that's why Beth was at my appointment.
Yeah.
Couldn't find parking anywhere.
no, and so they wound up picking me up, and we wandered around and just went right back to where we'd been in the beginning, and had a nice lunch. But that's the beginning of my stories. Is that day I had planned already to go around to the area hotels downtown, peddling my wares. So what we're doing is offering all of the area hotels a promo code for our concert this weekend, which is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince in concert. So the movie's shown and the orchestra plays the score. And so I had planned to go in the morning, but nothing works the way you want it to, and I didn't go till after we had lunch.
And because of parking, she had to walk.
And it was the hottest part of the day. And okay, here's the story as it happened. They came to get me. They couldn't find a place to park, so I said, well, just pick me up. So I went on the street. They picked me up. And we drove around, and there wasn't any good to park. So Eve's like, well, let's just go back to your parking garage. I said, okay. And she had the bag. And I was like, she's like, but I don't want you to take the bag with you all over the place. And I was like, well, if we're parked in the same garage, I can just put it in my car after lunch, and then I can go on my way. And then where we wound up eating was in my building. And I'm like, this is so stupid. I could have just brought it with me and taken it straight up to the office. So we ate, and then we walked back to her car, and I got it, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to walk it to the office. But instead of going down, anyway, I wound up going out through the parking garage and downstairs, and then back up and up to my office, delivered it, everybody loved it. So okay, I'm going on my adventure. And I went to the very first hotel, which is close by. So I went down the elevator, walked out of the building, walked back across, through the alley and down toward this hotel. And when I got there, I realized I don't have my badge.
Yeah.
My badge is in my cubicle upstairs.
Oh,
and
no.
So I'm like, well, I'm just going to go. So I went in, and I was like, hey, I'm Think Symphony, la, la, la. Very nice conversation. And I left there, and I thought, I have to go get my badge now.
Yeah, so they don't think you're a vagabond.
Right. So I go back to my building, and I walk in, and I realize my desk is right here. But I have to go all the way to the elevator, up the elevator, walk all the way back through the office. And my colleagues are like, I thought you were leaving. What are you doing here? I'm like, I'm just walking around. So I got my badge, and then I walk all the way to the elevator, down, and all the way back out. And I'm like, I'm already tired, and I've gone to one place, and I have 12 to go to. So then I started hoofing it, and it was already 100 plus. And I basically walked north to all the properties that I could deal with. So I got to 6 hotels, and I quit at 3:30, and I'm like, I gotta go back. I gotta go home.
How many were you supposed to do?
12.
Wow.
So I got to 6, and I knew that some of them I was gonna have to drive to, because they're just a little bit too far to walk. And my boss is totally cool. She was just glad I did it. And I'm very curious on Monday to see how much of the concerts were purchased through those coupon codes. And I'm like, I hope it was worth it. Anyway, and then so I was roasting.
What was the reception of the hotels? Were they interested?
Loved it. Most of them loved it. All but one.
Because it's nice to be able to give their
happy.
patrons.
And a lot of the hotel personnel were like, I saw that concert, and I need to go. I was wanting to go. I'm like, you just buy a ticket. So I'm like, well, here's your coupon code. And so I'm like, share it with the staff. Yeah, that's great. So they were all happy.
That's
and in a couple
it's
of
nice
weeks,
to be able to give their people.
Well, they said, a lot of them said, they're always asking me for what's going on, you know. And so this was a preemptive thing to say, in a couple of weeks, I'm coming back with a rack card that's going to have all of our performances through New Year's Eve with the same deal. And they were like, oh, that's great. So I've kind of primed that pump.
Yeah.
So, and also if it works, it'll also, help management know that that's going to work. Yeah. So it's good. So that was my very hot and sweaty Wednesday. And then So since it was Harry Potter, I said to Eli, hey, invite your friend Jack to come on Friday night. Mm-hmm. We'll both be in town, because I worked Friday. I said, we'll both be in town. He'll just he can just, get Uber in or whatever to downtown, and then we'll go have dinner, and we'll go to the concert. And Eli was like, great. And Jack was like, great. So we arranged it. His parents arranged for the ride downtown. everything. Okay, now I have to back up a few months. A long time ago, Hannah's like, Brentano String Quartet's coming to Phoenix. You have to go to the concert. I'm like, okay. And then a few weeks ago, she was like, did you get tickets yet? And I'm like, not yet. So I got tickets. And they're hanging in my room. And so then...
The same day?
So then I arranged with Jack and his family and come downtown. We'll go to Harry Potter, la la la. And then... so this... On Thursday evening, we're sitting around. Hannah calls. We're just chatting. And she goes, so, you have to call me tomorrow night after the concert. And I was like, after Harry Potter? She wants to know how the concert is? And I went, oh my gosh. They're the same night.
Did they go without you?
No.
No?
No, so I said, Eli, call Jack. And I got on the phone. I was like, I am so sorry. Can you come on Sunday? So anyway, so that was a giant mess. And then, but anyway, Mark and I went to the string quartet concert last night, and it was mind blowing. I've talked about Brentano String Quartet here on this podcast before, and it is. They are, I think, gosh, they're probably the best string quartet I've ever heard live, or recordings. I don't know. There's just this unity and like all their notes, like their chords, they start the same, they end the same, they are the same. There's like one person playing all four instruments. This is the most beautiful thing. And what they did was they played Bartók String Quartet number 5, which I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but you should listen to it. But I think seeing it live is very different than even someone who's an aficionado would have listened to it differently. But what they did, it's kind of a 20th century. It's kind of a chunk to bite off, you know. But what they did was the first half, they took smaller movements and pieces from all different eras, from like Purcell, which is like very early, to Bach, to to Bartók himself, and just little pieces exemplifying characteristics of the quartet. So things like rhythm and Bulgarian and Slavic melodies and repeated notes and all these different kinds of aspects that are in the quartet. They played little pieces. It was almost like Bartók 5 deconstructed, and so they play. And he said, please don't clap between any of these pieces so that it will flow. We wait till the end of the half. So we didn't. So it was like a piece, even though it was all written by different people. It was amazing. And so, and there was like a Beethoven, there was a Beethoven movement, and it was just like different pieces of music that exemplified characteristics of this quartet. So it was like a long piece that was all, it was all written by different people, but it was cohesive. It was so cool. So then that was the first half, and then they played Bartók 5, the second half. While I love string quartets, I had never heard that piece. But I was able to digest it in a whole different way because I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Oh, that's what they were talking about. I'm like, and I told them afterward, this was perfect. It was so good. And the first violinist said to me, this is the first time we've ever tried it. I'm glad to hear that. I'm like, this was great. I think whether you were an aficionado or you were brand new to it, it really would have helped you train your ear for something to hear. And the first half was these little bite-sized pieces that you can digest well, and then you recognize the similar aspects in the bigger piece. It was fantastic. And they sounded like $1 million. And they love our girls so much. It was so nice to see them. So we saw them afterward and everything. And then, so that was a lot of fun. And then, okay, so my last story was from tonight. So we wound up in the ER today just checking something on Eli. He's totally fine. But we were there, you know how it is, all day. And we hadn't eaten. And so we were starving, and Eli's like, I said, what do you want on the way home? Like, what do you want to eat? And he's like, what about Rubio's? I'm like, oh, okay, great. Because Rubio's brought their tortilla soup back, their chicken tortilla soup, which is my favorite chicken tortilla soup in all of chicken tortilla soup kingdom. It's my favorite. And it's like got rice and cheese and chicken and avocado slices, and then they put the tortilla chips on top, and it's got a beautiful taste. I always love it. So excited that it came back. And the last time I got it, I get the home and I open the bowl, and it's just like a bowl of wet rice. Like now, the fact that you get so much rice and all that stuff in it, I like, but there was like no broth, and I'm like.
You mean last night or
No, the first time I got it this season, I was like, oh, that's a drag. How weird. They must have just like put the ladle in the bottom and served it, you know? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to fuss about it. It still tasted great, you know. There's a little bit of broth in there. So when Eli said, let's get rubes, I'm like, oh, great. So I go to get it, and I looked in the bag as I was walking to the car, and I was like, nuh-uh. They did, because the soup thing was like half full, and it was completely basically solid with the ingredients of the soup. So I turned around and I walked in, and I was like, can I have some more broth in this soup? And he goes, oh, you know, somebody came in yesterday talking about that. And I was like, yeah.
Because soup usually has broth.
Can I have some more broth? And he goes, well, I think that we just don't put a lot of broth. And I'm like, so I opened it, and he's like, yeah. And he tilted it, and you could see a tiny bit of broth come up this. He goes, see, there's broth. I said, can I have some more broth? You want?
Can
more,
I have some more?
You want more broth? And I was like, what I'm thinking is, it is soup. Soup has broth. I appreciate all the ingredients, and I like that it's not just a cup of water that has a carrot in it. But I'm like, it's soup. I'm like, yeah, can I have some broth? And he's
Did you feel like Oliver?
Yeah. Please, sir, can I have some more? And so he goes to the chicken. He's like, to the kitchen. He's like, can I have a side cup of broth or whatever? So then he gives me this little cup of hot broth, and I'm like, never before in my life have I had to ask for a side of broth with my soup. And I'm like, is this soup deconstructed? What the heck? I'm like, so I had the little cup of broth, I had the cup of the ingredients, and then I had the cup of tortilla chips. So I'm like, I have to put this soup together myself. But I will tell you, it is such good soup. It was worth the hassle.
What's it soup instead of just a...
It was actually soup, so that was good. I was just like, are you kidding me? Crazy people.
I have one thing to tack on the end of your of the parking story, the downtown trip.
Oh, yeah.
That, so we had ended up in the parking building, that...
I felt bad, because I was like, I hate to
Well, we finally got to the restaurant. There was parking right in front of it.
Yeah. So,
I had driven around that block like 4 times, and there was no parking.
Yeah. So then we park in the garage, and as we're walking to the restaurant, there's a spot.
Yeah. But anyway, so we were in the parking garage, and it's like $3 an hour or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
yeah.
so and we took our time, eating and everything, and so when we were leaving, I thought, hey, I'll pay for parking, and so I had my card out, I was ready to go, and we were going down the thing, and when you get to the bottom, it says, if you're, turning right on this street, in this lane, if you're turning left, get on that lane. And so Eve was like, well, I want to turn right. So we got in that lane. And as we got up there was nobody in the booth.
And the gate was open.
up. So like, yay, free parking. So there we went. So,
we must have landed on the right McDonald Monopoly spot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And since then, downtown has become horrendous because, yay, Diamondbacks are in the playoffs, and they are now tied 2-2 with the Phillies, and they're about to start playing, or they are playing now. So if they win tonight, they go to the World Series.
Yeah.
So, but we were like, I hope they don't win, so they don't cause any problems for the concerts.
In downtown Phoenix, there is a road called Central, which is never open. Now that road, if you drive straight down that road on a normal day when it's open, it is very fast because the lights are timed because of the light rail. And I used to love to do it, but half the time I couldn't, because if they're doing this celebration, they close it. If they're doing that celebration, they close it. If they're doing construction, they close it. If they're doing and like she said, the Diamondbacks. So,
and now it's completely closed between Jefferson and Washington. It's a mall now. It's completely closed.
Forever.
Forever.
Yeah, and I think they did that because people were probably getting mad because they planned to go up Central, and they always closed it for all these functions. And the sad thing about that is that it gets you quickly through downtown.
Yeah.
And of course they closed that.
Yeah.
Well,
I was going to say, to tack on to my slacker hotel story, on Friday morning when I got to town, I had to, one of the things I had to do yesterday was help one of my bosses address envelopes for an invitation for an event. And so, but I was like, she wanted me there at 10. So I'm like, okay, well, when I get to downtown, the first hour, I'm going to spend going to those hotels I didn't make it to. Mm-hmm. And I went to the ones I had to drive to. Well, first I was going to go to the ones just south of us, and I drove like this around, and there's nowhere to park, and there's a big parking lot. So I'm like, okay, I'll park in here, I'll pull in here, and I'll pay for half an hour, whatever. No, the only options on the little thing were 2 hours for $30, and I was like, are you kidding me? Who parks here? It was like middle of a workday. It wasn't like an event night or anything like that. So I was like, forget it. So I went. So then I went. For
events at yours, it's only 15.
Right. So I went. I was like, forget that. And I hang on 1 second. No, that's not right. I did something wrong. So I decided, well, I'll go to those 3 because there's 3 down there. And I'm like, I'll just go to those 3 another day. And I went up to the north, and I was able to drive around and everything. And I got to this one, the only one that was like this. They were like, well, we're a such and such hotel. I couldn't even understand what she said. And we can't have any advertising on our desk or we'll get in trouble. And I was like, okay. And she goes, well, you can put it over there on that table, like in their lobby area. And I see like the downtown Phoenix stuff there and other things. She goes, I can't guarantee it'll stay there, but you can put it there. And I'm like... What's going to be funny is like if I go read the report and all of the several of the codes from that hotel came through, it'll be really funny. But I'm just like I'm never coming back here.
Well, the interesting thing about the hotels, when you were telling me you wanted to do that, when you are at a nice hotel and you are visiting a city that you are not familiar with, it is very nice to have something where you can look through and find an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have to end pretty quickly, so let's talk very quickly about our giveaway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm counting. Hang on.
Yeah, let her count. So we gave you all the words last week. We had a lot of people, respond, but you have until the 20-something.
Friday the 27th?
Yes. To respond. And one of the giveaways is, actually there's 2 chances to win Flamingo by Hands On Design. And the keyword for that is flamingo. And there's 1 chance to win this Legacy Cloister Cream 38 count a piece, 10 by 11, and it feels good too. The fabric feels nice.
It looks really fancy.
Yeah.
It's nice.
This end is a selvage end, so FYI. So
the keyword for that is
legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then I am giving a set of 4 coasters, Arizona fabric. They look like this. And the keyword for that is Arizona. And you have until this coming Friday, which we established earlier, is the 27th, correct? 27th yes. of October. We'll draw the names on the 28th and announce them on our recording that day, which will show up on the
29.
29.
So we are running out to go watch people beat up each other.
Yes.
So actually,
watch a movie.
We're gonna watch a movie, yeah.
my son is the one watching people beat up each other.
Was he at a wrestling match?
No, he's
Boxing match?
he's
with some
watching.
friends.
He's at a friend's house watching some fight on
Oh.
TV, and they're all gathered around, and he's going to spend the night there since
Okay.
they were going to
I know.
be drinking adult beverages.
I know.
So
The
watch
dog
the-
says we have to be done.
Yeah,
There she is.
so-
And so she can see
Watching
it.
the movie Cinderella Man, it was like people boxing, like just beating each other up. No wonder his wife didn't want to go to those matches.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to undo this whole row because at the end of last row I was talking and I forgot to do a decrease and I messed it all up. So. But thank you so much for joining us again,
Yes.
and thanks for all the fun comments and for subscribing and liking. And we will see you again next week when we will announce our winners. Thank you so much.
Don't forget to enter.
Bye.
Bye.